actually tally 104 kills.
Hitler himself didn't want the conflict with Britain. Quite definitely not. I heard him say so personally. He said that, "I hate to have to wage this war against England. The English people are so much like us. It's unfortunate that I'm forced to do this."
We were in a situation where everybody could see, certainly the fighting men could see, but everybody else could now see that this country was in the gravest danger that it had been in since the Norman invasion in 1066.
The radar stations. Before the invasion can be launched, the Luftwaffe must control the skies. Time is critical. Autumn storms will soon rage over the Channel, making an invasion impossible. Dowding's miserly policy of conserving planes and pilots, coupled with the tactical advantages of fighting over their own territory, give his young chicks the decisive edge.
Well, I think the Battle of Britain was the safest battle for a fighter pilot possible. We had good radar control, good aircraft. We flew from nice warm bases. The average trip lasted, say, 50 minutes.
Our fighter pilots flew 1,000 sorties each. When you look at the English, they flew 80 or 100 sorties, and then they were pulled out and used in their home base. We could not afford to do this. The German fighter pilot would have to continue his mission for as long as he was physically capable, until he was wounded.
In Europe, the struggle for air supremacy begins in 1940 over Great Britain. German technology has perfected the sleek, powerful Me-109, a design proven in the skies over Spain, Poland, and France. Friedrich Oeblisser, Luftwaffe, will score 127 kills in his Me-109.
For me as a fighter pilot, the Me-109 was the plane. I flew many versions of it. We used this plane a great deal, and those that did fly it considered it to be the best plane of its kind.
Britain's Royal Air Force, vastly outnumbered, pins its slim hope on a fighter evolved from a racing seaplane and developed despite an obstinate bureaucracy, the Vickers Supermarine Spitfire.
The Spitfire has a classically beautiful shape, and everybody wanted to fly Spitfires in 1940. They looked marvelous. The Spitfire was a few miles an hour faster than a 109.
The RAF's other mainstay is the Hurricane, tough, dependable, and deadly. But it is the Spitfire that gives the Luftwaffe its worst headache, matching the performance of the 109. Though slightly faster, the Spitfire's Rolls-Royce Merlin engine is not fuel-injected, like the Daimler-Benz engined Me-109. This technical edge gives the Germans an early advantage in combat, where gravity forces, commonly known as G-forces, cut off the flow of fuel to a normally carbureted engine. For RAF pilots, that tiny edge is the difference between life and death.
When we started the war, if you got behind a 109, his best maneuver to get away from you was shove the stick forward and do that. Whereas we had to roll over. We couldn't take negative G in our Rolls engines.
The solution, a plate over the Merlin's carburetor to keep the fuel flow constant. America provides the RAF with 100-octane aviation fuel. By comparison, the Germans must supplement their meager supplies with synthetic fuels that limit engine performance. In spite of this, German research again tips the balance. The Focke-Wulf 190, with a 1,700 horsepower engine built by BMW, can outperform the Spitfire.
I remember when I first ran into a Focke-Wulf. I was jolly lucky to get home.
Harry Broadhurst reports his encounter with a new Luftwaffe fighter. Eyebrows are raised. Command doesn't believe his story about a German fighter that can outperform the Spitfire.
Unfortunately, one of the chaps flying a Focke-Wulf landed in England. We got a complete Focke-Wulf, and we were able to test it.
If you ask, what were the mistakes that caused the loss of the Battle of Britain, you have to cast a wider net and ask yourself, was the Luftwaffe suited or built for and armed for such a purpose? Were the airplanes suited? Were the tactics suited? And then you come up against all sorts of hurdles, and you realize that the Luftwaffe was never meant to fight Britain.